leave it that long?
Yeah, I wanted to go long. I heard that you like stuff to be over quick, but I wanted to go long. I heard that you like quickies, I don't really like quickies, so I like to put my time in and take a bit of time. How about Sarah?
I've fought in small shows and sell thousands and thousands of pounds worth of ticket to get fights. You know, I've gone through my ups and downs and stuff. So, you know, he just had a slightly easier road than what I've had. I've been in his head for a long time. It's not today. I've been in his head for a long time. I've been in his head for a long time. Since October 2009, I've been in his head, and he's admitted that to me face to face in Austria. When he was in camp, he acted a certain way. He was like, you know, sorry for the stuff and this, you know. So he acted a certain way. So I was like, you know what, that's cool, that's old. And then when I came back, he started talking all this stuff like, I don't know, like he took my kindness a weakness. So I had to go back to how I was with him, you know what I mean? Because don't be fake. If you don't like me, tell me you don't like me. I'm cool with that. I can work with you if I don't like you. But don't pretend that we're cool and then say stuff behind my back, and then that's just snaky. It's just, you know, that's the sort of stuff scumbags do.
Once you start hitting someone concussively a few times, I think they can only stand up for a matter of rounds before you start breaking them down. That's why I don't believe it will go the full distance.
He doesn't anger me. Listen, there's a thing called mind games. He doesn't believe half the stuff he's saying. If you look at what he says and what he does, he don't believe half of what he's saying. He just, it's people is telling him say these things, because he gets a lot of sports psychology work and a lot of media training and stuff. So they tell him these things. They tell him, Anthony, say this, say that. Try and, because they expect me to respond emotionally and aggressively like I always do. I know that. I know exactly what I'm fighting. I know exactly what they expected of me. So I'm just cool. I'm just relaxed. I'm not going to give them what they want. I never made any man dominate me or demand from me what they want, you know. So I'm not going to start now. He kicked the dirt first, so I kicked it. He tried to mention me getting banned for a stimulant. I'm like, dude, you can't belittle me by saying that when what you've done is a million times worse than what I've done. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? You know, where I was brought up in Brixton, there's loads of kids and stuff and people stronger on drugs. So for me, that's something that I try and stay away from and try and kick out of the community. And that's what he's done. So for me, I hate him because of that. Because I've seen drugs ruin a lot of people's life. Loads of kids, and around the world it's a big problem. So for me, I hate him for that.
But you're saying you hate him for that in the sense that he's not a user of drugs, but you think he was a peddler of drugs.
Yeah, he was. I'm not thinking, I know. Then he tried to blame me that, I got 2-year ban for stimulant. I'm like, dude, don't dig up dirt on somebody when there's worse dirt in you. Don't do that. Just be relaxed and calm down and be yourself. Be this good boy that you are, and don't try and say things to try and, you know, come on, man, be real. You can't be a scumbag and try and call somebody else a scumbag when you're a known scumbag. A convicted scumbag, there you go. The dude turned pro 16 stone 1 or something. 2-3 years later, he's 18 stones. He haven't gained 1% of body fat. How does that work? Or what heavyweight have you ever seen in history that done that? I'm asking you and the fans a question. How do you put on over 30 pounds of muscle in 3 years, lean muscle, and it haven't affected you one bit? That's impossible. No human being's capable of doing that. You can eat as much salad and as much nuts and meat as you want. You ain't gonna, come on, man.
Well, I can never knock a man who talks facts, and that was my past, and we're here now. You know, I think you got to give credit as well, due to the fact that I changed my life around. There's nothing wrong with what he's saying, but give credit as well where credit's due. I think there's a time and a place for certain things as well, and that's what I told him. I said, compose yourself, man. I said, that's the past. If you want to talk about things like that, you talk privately and personally. You haven't got to announce it to the world. And that's all the problem is. I just don't like the way he composes himself. He just needs to hold it down a bit more in certain situations.
And are you clean?
Yeah, for sure, man. Clean. You know, that was for possession. It wasn't intent to supply. So possession is being in possession of something. Intent to supply is another classified use of what you're trying to do with the substance you had with you. So that's that anyway. So that's what he talks about. Everything else is all irrelevant. Talks about steroids. I think he's complimenting the training, because I show everyone time and time again how many times you get drug tested. 5 times in a month. Stuff like that is crazy. And you know, he was the one who had been banned 2 years for taking illegal substances. So I just tell him, for your own good as well, when you talk, just think, because it's backfiring on you. Because the things you talk about are the things you've been convicted for. So as I said, minus of that, this is a professional environment, and just focus on the job at hand. Everything that you talk about, just think about, and just try and tell people how great you feel, how much you're looking forward to the fight, and appreciate people that are coming out. You ain't got to talk about everything else. People don't want to hear all that stuff. They want to see 2 warriors coming together, and that's all it is.
I was a real novice, of course, because I trained for 6 months. I was on tag at the time, so I couldn't even train the full time. I had to leave the gym at 7:30 to get home for 8. Stuff like that. I was training for 6 months, and then I just ended up fighting. Had 2 fights, and I had my 3rd fight in 2019 against him. 5-year, I think, and his gloves are off. I was told he was a 5-year champion kickboxer. So for me, it showed me, you know what, I'm not good enough, but I can compete at this level. All right, I made some mistakes, I got knocked down, but I got the courage to get myself up and fight on. So what do? I go back to the drawing board, add a bit more arsenal to my game, and try and build myself as a fighter, as a man. And that's why I am here now. That's all it is, it's simple. And that's why I see Dillian as a simple challenge, because I take everything that I do, I don't really overload it, get aggressive, want to talk about scrapping in Sky Sports, courtyard and all that rubbish. It's all irrelevant. It's just a fight. I'll pick up the belt and move on. It's no big deal.
Listen, you give it and you go and like, you're this bad boy. So when
talk to me, in what sense though? Explain yourself. When you talk, explain yourself.
When I say to you, you want to fight, it's as simple as that. Don't talk.
December 12th, of course, that's why I'm sitting here now.
You see, after the fight finished on December 12th,
you always jump onto the next subject.
After the fight finished December 12th, that's not the end of it. I'm gonna find you and we're gonna have a straight. Trust me. Like real man, old school, straight down the grass. Trust me.
Don't talk too much. As I always said, everyone, just tell him, just compose yourself. I've told you so many times. Just compose yourself.
You know my problem is with you're fraud.
Okay, it's your opinion.
You're going like you're this nice guy, and you're a scum.
But I thought I was a bad boy a minute ago. I'm going on like I'm a bad boy. Now I'm going on like I'm a nice guy. Think about this and just compose yourself. It's only a fight.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let it cloud your judgment or your mentality. It's only a fight. You're supposed to be good at what you do. Keep it professional.
Not too long.
Keep it professional.
Not too long, bro.
Then we're supposed to fight September, man. It's no big deal for me to fight.
Take a fight with a broken
you talk a good game. I said let's fight September. Then you come up with an excuse in your hands.
Listen, I'm not Kevin Johnson to sit around and wait over.
You were talking that you couldn't touch Kevin Johnson when you spar him. How great he is. It's too early.
Kevin was tapping you up.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Kevin was tapping you up.
But you talk.
Kevin never trained you over. Ask Clifton Mitchell over there.
My advice for you is
ask Clifton.
The fight's here. The fight's here. Just chill.
I'm not Kevin Johnson.
You've got your people coming here. They're gonna do your job. You're gonna whatever that's gonna get you. If you're gonna win or not. Just wait a few more days and you can chill out. It's only a fight. It's no big deal. We go to war. We go trenches. We can box. It's no big deal.
Listen, you're not going to no war. You're gonna come out, stand stiff, move like a robot, try and put it on me, and then what's gonna happen when I'm still there, smiling at you like I am now?
Then you're gonna keep on getting hit with left and right. It's a simple job. It's simple.
That's fine. It's
not complicated.
I don't mind getting hit with left and right.
That's stupid. That's not the art. You're with a world-class trainer.
You're with
a world-class trainer. He should teach you that. The sweet science of boxing.
Where's the trainer? Where's Robert McCracken?
Tony Sims.
Where's Robert McCracken?
I've got big respect for those guys who saw me through.
Where's Rob not here?
He's in Sheffield with the Olympics.
Okay, alright, cool.
Doing his job.
Okay, cool.
Guys, you both 100% physically and mentally fit.
Yeah,
for this.
Definitely.
Both of you, no problems.
I'm easy.
No injuries, no problems. Everything fine?
Oh, is your heart?
Shoulders good.
Is your heart good?
Shoulders good.
Is your heart good?
I asked you, you're a doctor.
Is your heart good?
You're a doctor.
I don't need to be a doctor. You're told that you're loaded on steroids. You're not happen to be blessed on steroids.
You're the one who got a 2-year ban. That's what I'm trying to say. What are you talking about?
I just think he gave me what I needed. I said he'll probably be the man to take me past 3 rounds. I said if there's anything he can do, he'll probably take me past 3 rounds. So that's what I need. So I'll tell you that you're a good fighter for me right now. So well done. You proved yourself to a certain extent.
I've had like 2 shoulder surgeries. I had major problem with my shoulders before the fight. But you know, I'm a warrior, man. I turned up, I got in there, and you know, my shoulder was so bad. I was this close to pulling out the fight. Then I had an option of to take 2 cortisone injection in my shoulder to numb the pain enough for me to go and fight. I went in the fight. In the second round, my shoulder popped. As soon as I threw the left hook, my shoulder popped. And my coach wanted to put me out in the third, but I went through the fight, carried on. I said to him, listen, I want to keep fighting. I fought on, and then after my shoulder got worse and worse. And you know, so since then I've had operations.
During the fight, how do you think it affected you and changed the outcome?
Eddie Hearn and Joshua knew, you know what I mean? Even Eddie Hearn, I spoke to him, he said, listen, we knew you had problems with your shoulder anyway. But you know, it was common knowledge I had problems with my shoulder from before I fought Costa, Brian Minto, you know what I mean? But, you know, that's life, man. I had a simple choice. Pull out and let millions of people down. I show up and fight. You know, I mean, I still believe I had enough to beat him. And I almost beat him, you know what I mean? And it was a 50-50 fight up until I got exhausted and my shoulder went and I got caught, you know what I mean? But that's heavyweight boxing. There's only one heavyweight that retired in the whole of boxing undefeated. And, you know what I mean? He fought a lot of old men and a lot of guys past that. I was on Rocky Marciano, you know what I mean? You know, so it's heavyweight boxing, one punch and that's it, you know what I mean? You have to just concentrate, you know what I mean? And that's it. You miss your concentration up for 1 second, and that's it. You know what I mean? You stop. You gotta respect what he does. You know what I mean? He's leading the charge at the minute. UK. He's heavyweight champion. You know, and me and him's always linked to a potential fight. So the better he does, the better I do. You know, he's bringing more light and heavyweight boxing in the country. You know, and that rematch between me and him's always there, and it ain't gonna go anywhere. So, you know. But that fight, when I beat him, he said it publicly. It changed his whole career and his life and his approach to boxing. When I lost him, he changed minds. It's just the circle of life. But you have to be honest with yourself to make the adjustment and the improvement. I know and he knows that we need each other. It doesn't matter how far he is, how far I am, we need each other. You know, just like Ali needed Joe Frazier and Kenny Norton and George Foreman. You know, we need Gene Tunney needed Jack Dempsey. We need each other. You know, and he knows. He's not stupid. He's clever.
Dillian Whyte turned down 3 separate offers to face Anthony Joshua in April. Can you tell us roughly what the financial offer was of the biggest offer that he turned down?
Not really. I mean, there's a few things reported, and what was reported was the second offer, I think. So look, it's difficult for me because he's my client, and I respect his position and his decision. I felt like, particularly the final offer was a good offer, but you know, Dillian's got that belief that he is on the same level as Wilder and Fury, and you know, he's putting himself continuously up there, so he's backing himself to keep going. And you know, it was never going to be easy because they don't particularly like each other. I represent both of them. But you know, it was a substantial offer.
As I like Dillian, I think he's really done well for himself. He's a free agent, as far as I know. He's not got a contract with anyone. He may be fighting on the Matchroom show. I don't know, but I like Dillian, and he should be fighting to find out who is the best out of him. He should have been fighting Anthony Joshua. That didn't happen for whatever reason.
How Dillian Whyte approaches each fighter.
More pressure, but smarter pressure. You know, smarter, more clever. More pressure. I'm using my jab more. I'm breaking these guys down. If I get tagged, learn to take the knee and learn to survive. I picked up all those tricks along the way. When I fought Joshua, I didn't know those things. I was just so pent up and so angry. I was just like, oh, I got tagged. You see, I'm laughing. I'm getting knocked down. I'm still laughing. I'm like, you know, I'll match on that. But, you know, fights that I got tagged, I just took a knee or a hold, these suckers and stuff, you know. I learned a lot, man, so it'd be different, you know.